All right.
Oh, you're on?
Yeah, I'm back.
We're back.
I am back.
Well, then, let's start this.
Oh, well, I gotta put this on my headphones and stuff.
Oh. I already did the intro and everything, too. Damn. Oh, whatever. I'll just cut this part out.
Oh, was I sounding muffled the whole time?
Somewhat.
Oh, yeah, because my speaker, my mic was behind my monitor. That's where I sort of put it when I'm not using it. And I was like, I just realized.
Oh. And today is cold.
Yeah,
Cold day.
it's cold in Vancouver.
Yeah. Well, the room is cold. I shouldn't say deep. It's just
All right.
Vancouver is apparently warm. If I went outside, I would. That's the problem. Is I had to go outside.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's do this.
Where did
This
we
is the
leave off?
movie, all
Where
right?
did we leave off?
Hmm?
We left off finding out that the chief of the police department is actually a piece of shit. And we're going to go into trial on the last day of the trial to mostly just to kick his ass.
Nice. Based.
Yeah. This is the end of our Phoenix Wright run.
There's somebody playing Genshin Impact in the Discord.
There's a lot of people.
There's only one person in our Discord that's playing it right now. It's Eden
It's true.
Code.
It's okay. He doesn't exist right now.
Hmm?
It's okay. He doesn't need to exist.
Genshin Impact is like waifu marketing 101.
Yeah.
And you
It
know
is.
what? I bet it works so fucking well.
Yep. There's another game before that called Princess Connect. They made so much money. The very first, I shouldn't say the very first. One of the biggest mobile web browser game is Grand Blue Fantasy. That was like 6 years ago. No, it should be 8 years. No, 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they made more than like 2 million in one go. I think Genshin Impact now just made more than $2 billion.
Whoa.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. Waifu games, man.
I'm sure people spend all sorts of money on like Girls Frontline and stuff like that.
The worst part, the only bad part I have with those type of games is that some of them literally build their games around making you spend the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a whole different issue. Yeah. Oh. Jonah.
Yep. Oh, sorry. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? Oh, shit. Uh-oh. There's something happening. Something's going on. We're about to get one of those famous turnabouts.
Yep.
This way. And where's
One of those
Anna,
famous
It almost
turnabouts?
seems as if... Uh-oh, don't say that. Don't hit me with the 3 dots. He's hitting us with the 3 dots, guys. Something's... Oh, no, somebody else. Something's been happening behind the scenes. Whoever says that.
Ah.
Oh, this guy. Edgeworth.
Something. Second. Knowing you, you've already figured it out.
I have.
Actually, I haven't. Who the owner of the 77777 ID number is, that is.
Like you missed a
I have a
few.
pretty strong hunch.
Did?
I'm pretty
We did
sure.
figure that one out.
Probably missed
Mr.
one.
7777777 is chief of police.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out.
You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday, because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything.
True. Not yet.
In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right? And Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty.
She didn't do it.
I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say.
This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Nina's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her.
The truth?
Everything goes back to the SL9 incident.
Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminiscence about the past.
I'm not really sure. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, we'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened.
I'll think about it.
You know what's funny, actually? Oh, that's really...
You're really muffled.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
What the hell? My mic is here on the front. Should be fine. Does that sound awful?
Better, somewhat better now, I guess.
Oh, well, I was standing a bit before. Let's see.
Whatever.
There we go. For now.
Still sounds the same.
Okay.
It's fine, it's not a big deal.
Alright. You know what's actually funny or kind of weird about this thing is that this whole system is like, it's not exactly the adversarial system like in the or at least like the way it's becoming almost. The way it's becoming is almost like a European Inquisitor system or Inquisitor system, like an old style, right? Before they had the adversarial system of justice of court. I mean. But at the same time, it's like a dual inquisitorial system that turns adversarial.
It's like there's you get two kinds of witch hunters running around the country trying to fuck everything up.
Instead of an inquisitor investigating and determining your guilt or something, there's two inquisitors, and one of them investigates and tries to say you're guilty, and one of them investigates and says you're not. Right?
Well, I don't think, Phoenix is not really very inquisitorial. Like,
you're literally doing your own investigation.
Yeah,
You're forced to.
But you're not
And
like
inquiring.
threatening people. Like, if Saltspire was in your
An
You're,
inquisitor does not necessarily have to threaten people and stuff like that.
I guess Saltspire is a witch hunter with the Inquisition or something, right? Or Ordo. He's not an inquisitor. He's just a witch hunter, right?
It's like
I forget.
The Inquisition is different than the inquisitorial system.
Yeah.
That's different. So the inquisitorial system was a different system of justice in which somebody would investigate your thing and then basically present it, rather than like an adversarial system where like two people argue best that they can, one way or the other, right?
I guess in some ways
Imagine
it's kind of like
like
Sherlock.
the actual investigator is part of the thing, right? Rather than just a fact gatherer. That's what the inquisitorial system is instead. Rather than trying to be like, Your Honor, he accidentally murdered her, sort of thing like that.
Wow.
I mean, try selling that to a peasant class in the 1300s, man.
You gotta get like Skinner from Steamed Hams up in here. Just like in the meme, I forget, like, steamed hams.
I guess it would be something similar to like Nancy Drew. Huh.
Yeah. And the Inquisition as a religious, like Inquisition or witch hunters is different than the inquisitorial system. Even though they're part of the same thing, right? The Inquisition was inquisitors that would like investigate and be like, yep, that she's a witch. Can't you tell she floated? She's made of wood. She's like a duck, and she's a witch.
Everyone knows witches are made out of wood.
Yeah.
But you burn them on the on a stake.
Yeah.
That's what you do with wood.
If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. February 25th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9.
10 a.m. You would think that courtrooms would start earlier.
Court is now in session. What was that?
You would think that courtrooms would start like 9 or 8 a.m. in the morning or something like that.
When did it start? This one.
10 a.m.
10
I always start at 10 at this game.
Well, they've been through four proceedings already today.
That's true. That's very true.
Imagine it's like
today. No, they haven't.
Between 6 a.m. and now, I've been through 4 proceedings, or something like that.
I don't think that would be way too fast.
Yeah, that would be extremely, extremely fast.
I've been through 4 cases between 8 a.m. and now.
She's like, all 4 of them were guilty, and except for this one, we don't even know yet. And then we've gone through 3 days.
If they can solve a case in 30 minutes in my favorite TV show, CSI, Francisco, then I can do it here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Wait, what time is this?
People watching.
What time is this?
So what place is what town is this? I mean,
I guess it would be like
or something like that.
Yeah, I guess it would be like San Francisco and Los Angeles kind of thing.
I think so. Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make.
No, not this thing. Chief, damn it. Phases in. Instant transmission. Oh, God.
Well, somebody has to play this.
Let me try and imitate Seth. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing?
You're holding your breath.
Hey, Uji, been back to the pool yet?
Wow, you're only holding your breath quite a bit.
I don't know how to do. I don't remember what Seth did with his
He
voice.
was like I can't describe it, but let me try. I'm drowning.
No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work.
See? He didn't finish 4 court proceedings in 2 hours.
Says he's drowning in it.
Like the way Seth did it before was like
Kind of
like a
cheerful.
calm kind of like a calm kind of guy. He's like, "Oh, how are you?
Oh yeah.
That's good to hear."
Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that, or something like that.
Sounds way
Except like it would be like the kind of like, "You better watch yourself," right? Sort of thing like that.
And Ethan did it. It sounded kind of like an old man, a really old man.
I think he was like yawning a bit almost.
I forget how he did it. I forget how Seth did it. It's like, Seth kind of has like, what is it?
He also has a higher voice compared to you guys.
Yeah, but Seth is like trying to play it kind of high class, I think.
Oh,
like,
that's a good one. Don't
Like,
think I can top that. Kind of like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
I have a deep voice too, so I can't really do it.
He's like trying to pretend to be one of those, what do you call it? Charismatic psychopaths with a baritone voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that.
Seth can definitely pull that off really easily.
Because he is one?
Oh, I don't think so.
No.
Alright, I'll do again.
If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours?
He's gonna clap again. Uh-oh.
Wow, that's silence.
Lana, that is to say, the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court.
That's a
She
fucking lie.
wants to do what?
As her lawyer, I forbid it.
Wow. You're allowed to do that. Yes.
Are you
It's-
actually?
You're gonna do the Kaiba move?
Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble.
I have a feeling it's because Emma is now held in custody and has the possibility of getting murdered by Chief Gant.
And you're gonna be like, hold it right there. You're interrogating your own person.
That's true.
That could happen. I seriously see that. You know, you're gonna wreck
done it
apart her
before.
own testimony.
Yeah, that's very true. What's this all about, defendant?
I'd just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished.
I'll play Lana this
Well
time.
then, what's your request? Okay.
Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial.
Huh?
I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office.
No, Lana.
Exactly. Exactly what we...
Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea.
In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. Wow.
But Lana.
Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me. but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please.
I object.
Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial. Even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise.
An objection from Edgeworth. Incoming. This can't be happening.
It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Yeah,
What? Yeah, it was kind of obvious though. One moment, Your Honor.
Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry, I'm watching the stream and it's a little bit lagged.
You could watch the one on Discord.
I know, but sometimes I just like to try and check the voice.
Fair enough. I'm also
okay.
checking the voices from time too.
No, but like more so I can make my voice better rather than the volume, right?
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I give up on that. My voice is gonna sound nasally no matter how much I listen to myself, so I'm like, yeah, why fuck it. Don't care.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Mr. Edgeworth.
The prosecution has yet to proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt.
The sheer cojones on this guy.
I know, right? Any ruling at this stage would be certainly premature.
I love how the judge gets like bullied around by prosecutors.
Well, literally everyone, to be
Come
fair.
on now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you,
Wow, what a dick.
but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut? Hmm?
I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant.
What?
Wow. Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes? Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be.
Edgeworth is gonna be fucking assassinated.
Or he's playing the hero. One of the above. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes.
Some kind of deal, hmm? Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy.
Wow.
Oh shit. Implication.
I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness.
Oh?
That's right.
To whom?
As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Sky. What? I request the court hears her testimony.
She doesn't have a hold it line.
Yeah, I was so confused. Hold it! Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation.
That's Ethan that does that.
No, I'm taking over for it for the
Yeah,
time
he
being.
said he could take over today.
Okay, alright.
I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Sky.
Shit.
Oh,
Wow. Look at that.
Fucking gone.
the exposure of the truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it.
Very well. The court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant?
Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words.
Look at his
You
eyes.
guys is just like, wow, that was kind of weird, but okay.
Like, look at his eyes. It's just so.
What an
Yeah.
oddly ambiguously threatening statement.
I know. And his smile too. Miss Emma Sky, please take the stand.
Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins.
Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Sky.
You're doing Emma Sky also?
Yeah, seems like it. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct? Yes? I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time.
Mr. Edgeworth, please remember the trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant?
Yes, most certainly is.
Well then, okay then.
He just really like told him yes. Okay. If you say so. He sure gave it fast.
Now, please testify about what happened 2 years ago. To you 2 years ago.
The trip to yesteryear has finally begun.
Yesteryear? What the fuck?
It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial.
Wait, yesteryear? Does that mean last year?
Yeah, but he just means like in the past.
Oh, fair enough. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest.
It's a good thing you weren't harmed.
I passed out. Don't remember much.
That's understandable. However, please tell Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder?
That will soon become apparent, Your Honor.
You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Yeah, it's kind of BS how Edgeworth gets to go.
Very well.
Just trust me, bro, on this or thing like that.
Yeah.
Sources
Very well.
do trust me.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
Yeah, it's very true. Wait, trust me, bro. Trust me. Trust me.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out.
The lights?
It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and the lightning struck nearby.
So the electricity went out.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right?
Right, but just then, lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind.
I see.
I told the detective about what I saw then.
The detective.
Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case.
Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago.
Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw. Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture.
Picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before.
Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough?
This picture, the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning.
But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture.
Holy crap, he remembers.
Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, well,
Yep, stuff on that.
now we can present.
Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. Oh, we're really putting this on him now. And yet you would insist on denying its existence.
Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture.
You're blowing at your mic a little bit.
Yeah,
that
I
may
noticed.
well be.
Is it on Discord or Twitch?
I'm listening on Discord, but I don't know if it would be different on both ways.
I think I listened on Twitch and yeah, I was a little blown out.
Well, I mean, like- Oh wait, so you're actually like not even listening to the Discord call?
I am listening on the Discord call, but
Then you would have heard it, kinda.
yeah, but if you hear it twice, then I can't remember which blown out was it. The first
Well,
or the
anyways.
second or both.
I'll just do my microphone. I'll just deal with my microphone. I lowered it by 1 decibel.
All right,
Should be
that
okay
may
now.
well be.
Yeah,
Dude.
sometimes I just like tune into the
But that
Twitch
doesn't
stream,
mean it
and
doesn't
then I got
exist.
like
Behold.
6 voices here.
Oh yeah,
It sounds real
I'm-
crowded for a minute, but then, whatever.
yeah. Go look up voice acting on YouTube.
I thought about that. I thought about, like, after doing this, I thought about, hey, voice acting's pretty cool. What if I took voice acting classes?
Just for like a
It's
hobby.
hard.
Yeah. Well, like, everyone is like, oh, you want to meet people, you want to do something cool, want to have fun, take a class, pottery,
Yeah,
cooking, or
I
some
guess
shit.
that's true. It's a
And
hobby.
I'm like, yeah,
Well, just doing things is cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Doesn't even matter
Everyone
what you
always
do.
says, take a fucking pottery class if you want to meet people or some shit.
I don't
It's
want
like,
to do fucking pottery. I can't imagine anything more boring.
I would like to do pottery, but I feel like, yeah, I'd get bored of it. I wouldn't want to do a cooking class because, holy fuck, people I
I know
meet
how to
there would
cook.
probably be
Like,
boring
you-
as fuck.
Yeah, I'm not a modern Zoomer or a modern, like, what's it called? Any woman born after 1950 doesn't know how to cook. All they know is like cards they phone, eat hot shit, or whatever. And
Yeah. be on the moon, eat hot shit. Yeah.
I know how to cook. Even if it's simple things, I know how to cook, lady.
Fuck, I don't go on Reddit often, but I went on the Reddit for this town. I don't want to constantly name drop where I live. But anyways. And then there was a guy saying it's like, hey, I've been eating from like Uber Eats or something for the last 6 months. Could somebody recommend me something else? I was thinking to myself, what the fuck? Is that what people do nowadays? To just order food for most of their meals?
Yeah, that's pretty common actually nowadays,
Oh my
especially in
God.
Richmond. In Richmond, there's a lot of people that's actually very lazy, even though there's all the restaurants like 5 minutes from them. They literally just wait for people to deliver those food to them. I'm like, oh my god.
There's lots of young people that don't cook that much food. No, I don't think it's like so widespread that's like tons of people just like eat out 100% of the time, but I definitely think
It's very common in Asian culture, in my opinion.
Oh really?
Yeah,
So
it's
people
very,
would be,
very
like,
common.
Or home cooking.
No. There's a lot of young. I wouldn't say young. I would say like our generation to. Yeah, I would say like 18 to like 40. They actually order a lot of food takeout from like Uber Eats and stuff like that.
Picked up the cooking at home.
Yeah, kind of thing. Like they don't. Like I see so many people in apartments, especially my previous apartment. I see like so many people getting their orders. I mean, food picked up at the front doors.
I see a couple. I definitely know there's like at least a couple every night or something like that. But that's like as in that DoorDash guys. But I don't know if it's like tons of people getting it all the time.
For me, I see it
But,
every single
my
day.
apartment has quite a few people in it, right? So like it makes sense.
Well, it's also because Uber Eats wasn't actually the first in Vancouver. It was in Chinese group called Fantuan that started it in Richmond specifically very first time. So they've been like getting a lot of they've been doing a lot of catering for a lot of people. And they've been doing it for like a year or two earlier than Uber Eats. That's the main reason why it's gotten so big for with a lot of Asians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, because I've been eating out the past couple days since my.
But you pick them up, right?
Yeah,
Or you
right?
go to the restaurants, right?
Yeah, I do go to the restaurants, but that's
Yeah.
my fridge is cleaned out. And like, if you were like eating out every meal, like that's pretty indulgent.
Yeah, but there's like a lot of Asians out there who actually just wants their food get delivered. Like I actually do know a friend who orders from Uber Eats even though the restaurant or the bubble tea store is right next to them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, sure, it's nice. It's nice eating from home. I totally get that. But still, you know what I mean?
It's just right next to them. And I'm like, why don't you just go downstairs and pick it up yourself in 2 minutes?
That's
Would you
worse
rather
than in
say,
the
like-
new Ghostbusters movie. The shorter, fatter woman, I forget her name, she's a comedian, orders like the delivery service, even though they're a studio or whatever is like above the fucking the food place.
Right.
Yeah, the Chinese restaurant.
Okay, yeah, what the hell?
And then it takes the guy like half an hour plus to get to her. Or more
Why?
or something.
What
It's just
the-
a dumb running joke in the movie where it's like he's like a shitty delivery guy, and they keep on giving her a giant thing of soup with only one wonton in it.
Oh,
the-
okay, yeah.
That's sounds terrible.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I remember that joke now. Anyways, but that doesn't exist. Wait, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold.
This is the evidence list for the SL-9 incident.
Please turn it over, Your Honor.
Turn it over. Turn it. Ah! What's this?
Hey, that's it. That's the drawing. That's the picture I drew.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, we didn't see that.
Indeed.
We never inspect these.
Two men appear to be wrestling here.
Like Can we inspect it real quick? Flip it. We never saw this.
We never bothered looking at it.
But I mean, like surely, like normally he would have noticed it, and like, you know what I mean?
Wait,
It should have told us something
They
that obvious.
did tell us before that we should inspect every piece of evidence, but
But you didn't think it meant inspect every piece of evidence, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Odd.
Oh, see, this one can't be turned over. When you turn it over, we find like initials like BG, Ding and Dance, something like that. Alright.
What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list?
Me?
Oh. I am actually blowing it out a little bit. Hold on. Lower my microphone. Okay, there we go. Done.
Everyone is just confused.
these lists, they're different from each other.
What?
It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other.
So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half the evidence in the case ever reached you.
Didn't you ever notice that the piece of paper was oddly short and ripped?
Apparently not.
It's like, hey, this 8.5 by 11 paper is only 5.5 inches long.
Even the other guys said that they're usually twice as long. But I thought they meant the paper just wasn't all printed on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you said the list was twice as long.
Yeah, it's not that the paper got ripped in half.
Oh,
Yeah,
it actually shows a little bit of the torn here. If you look at it at a different angle, but
Where? Oh, at the top or what?
no, on the side.
What side?
Or it could be just the.
I'm not sure that counts. I think that's just like how she drew it in. She didn't draw it in all the way to the edge.
Yeah,
Right?
maybe that's probably why.
Because the top looks like the top there, and then the bottom would be at the bottom there, right? It looks like a complete list to me.
Why would it be a vertical unless they ripped it hamburger style?
Unless they ripped two pieces of paper stapled together and they ripped it apart.
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about.
They printed it landscape style with 2 columns, but then they ripped it hamburger style.
Really weird, large, tall landscape paper.
It's like when you cut paper.
When you cut a piece of paper in half, it turns into the same ratio, right? As long as you don't rip it in half, hot dog style.
You're telling me Edgeworth received a fucking postcard-sized evidence list and went, okay.
No. He received a half-size sheet of paper, which is still
That's
the
what I mean
same
by
dimension.
postcard size. That's what I mean by postcard size.
It's not postcard size.
I
Postcard's a little bit
guess.
small.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like,
I
you get
mean,
what
he could have gotten an A3 size paper.
Maybe he just thought that they were conserving paper.
was it green
From an A3 to
Not
an
an
A4.
A3, like 8.5 by 11 to a.
I know, but like, if the paper is like two pieces of two A4s combined together, then it would be like at least an A3.
He wasn't
Closer.
thinking about
I don't
it. He
know
was
about
just
any of
thinking
those
about
A
getting
stuffs.
that. He was just thinking about getting that.
Haven't they
verdict.
ever done that in school to you, where they like save
Yeah.
paper, print it
Yes, I know.
double-sided,
No, I have done it before.
twice
I've
on
seen
each
it
side,
before.
then you cut it in half, and then you get 4 pages?
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it still would be kind of weird.
Yeah, it would be.
Order. But Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on back of such an important list?
Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor.
Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor?
Are you all right, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head.
Please. If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list.
Oh my god!
Edgeworth never fucking noticed. He's just as
Wow.
much of a dickhead as we are.
Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth.
Edgeworth, you were never taught. See, we can see the back of the paper right
It's
there.
possible. Let's see.
Why are we both
Is something
retarded?
wrong?
You
Telling
were
me
never
nobody
taught to
noticed
be-
this for over 2
Dude, you
years?
even have to ask.
Wow. Wow. Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. Is that thing?
Oh god, it is.
Wow, it's the Blue Badger.
What the hell?
That's that thing. That thing that was dancing in the evidence room.
Look, Moxie. A thing.
Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives.
I guess he was out of scrap paper. Oh, that's
Yeah.
why, because it's a dual page thing, yeah, like that.
Very well, witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago?
Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor.
Chief of Detectives, is that Gumshoe?
No, that's
Remember.
his boss.
Oh yeah.
The one that's sitting at the desk at the end of the detective's room.
Yeah, it's not the. It's,
right,
not, it's
yeah.
not Gant. It's like that random guy.
The balding guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bald and random guy. What's wrong with Emma? She seems to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture.
Ugh.
I think it's like an SCP at this point.
I thought we were suddenly gonna get into some like even more deepest lore or some shit of this.
What was it, Blue Badger?
Yeah, the Blue Badger, like somehow it's involved with it's somehow intimately involved with this disaster.
The real murderer was the Blue Badger?
I don't know. Just like there'd be some sort of weird fucking twist and it'd be like the Mickey Mouse wannabes here murdering people.
That would
That
be
we just
weird.
never heard about the entire time. Alright, Emma's picture.
This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. The picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant.
To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind.
Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw.
It turns out,
Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dock about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall.
but it turns out it's the other way around.
The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Are we just not gonna talk about? Oh, look at this. Okay. It's
Talk about what?
left-handed.
Are we sure about
Talk
that?
about what?
Huh?
Talk about what?
Oh well, maybe it's not left-handed because it's a silhouette. It could be flipped around. Yeah. Down person hard bad blood under 10 minutes left found a wound that's missing tip.
Do we have the other knife?
No.
No?
What do you mean? Do we have Joe Dark's knife, or do we have
The knife that was used
is
to kill Neil.
Oh,
Yes.
I think it was actually supposed to be like the statue or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, dust it for prints. Did we dust it for prints?
Statue?
Oh, yeah. Wait, can we dust the knife for print? Yeah, that's the knife for print.
Did we?
Are we able to?
No, I don't.
I don't know. I think maybe we can only dust things for print.
Yeah.
Which one?
Oh wait, hold
anyways,
on.
where
No,
were
we got that swatch of fabric too, though.
Yeah, we did that already. But
The
It's
one,
a
the
right
swatch of
hand.
fabric had the swatch of fabric had Emma's fingerprints on it.
Oh yeah,
That's
right.
Emma's.
Weird.
what were you
Yeah,
saying,
don't
though?
Heart and lung.
I don't think there's a thing here about right or left-handedness then.
Yeah, there was. I don't think there was.
What were you saying before that, though? That we're not going to talk about.
Oh, are we not going to talk about like what we saw in Edgeworth's picture?
Oh, apparently not.
what the fuck is this supposed to be?
It reminds me of Bendy and the Ink Machine.
What did she mean by this?
Good question. What did she mean?
Did you guys ever play Did any of you guys ever play Bendy and the Ink Machine?
I didn't, but I remember seeing someone you were playing it.
It's pretty good. It's not an incredible gaming piece, but it's a pretty decent story and looks pretty dope.
If you want one that's similar, like a similar kind of horror thing going on, and actually, like the first chapter came out, and it's gonna have a second chapter coming out pretty recently. It's called Poppy's Playtime. It looks pretty promising with like interesting mechanics and puzzles and pretty spooky. You could go watch it online. It's pretty short though.
Oh.
What did you just do?
Presented Neil's autopsy.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What about Neil's autopsy is an issue?
The punctured heart and lung.
How's that an issue? Single stab
it's in
wound
the
piercing
back,
front lung.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you not puncture the heart and lung from the back?
She said she was stabbed in the front.
Oh,
Yeah.
she said she stabbed in the front. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Okay.
But then I forget where we can see that evidence, right?
All right.
It was during her.
Testimony.
Yeah. Well, technically, I guess we can see it. They were turning her.
No, but where can we see that it was
Oh.
that it was stabbed in the back?
Oh, that's in the autopsy. It says stabbed in the back.
Okay.
No, it doesn't say that.
Nope, single stab wound.
But they've been saying that it has been in the back. They've been
Okay,
constantly saying that.
But I think I
still
remember some of the like memory pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah. But I still remember it just like it was yesterday.
Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report?
Yeah, what part of it?
You could see his hand is in the front.
Yeah.
So maybe click on his chest.
No, the problem is actually the sword.
Blunt?
Yeah.
It's missing the tip already.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's not even the thing we thought it was.
Yep.
Well, that could just be like she's a bad artist kind of thing, but yeah, you're right. The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. We're like acting like it's a picture. If you look closely, you can see the tip is broken.
Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright.
And it suddenly goes, oh, wait a minute. I suddenly realized.
Mr. Wright,
Says Emma.
look at the evidence. And she writes it down. See, the murder weapon, its tip is broken too.
If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body.
It was a conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer.
Gosh, can't wait to totally blow her
Funny you should say
socks
that.
off.
I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma.
And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? I can't.
It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back.
Even
It
say
says,
in
even
the
though we
back.
weren't able to see that. I'll go further. Is there any other one?
No, there's no second page.
Just, okay.
Everybody says in the back, but I don't see the back.
Wait, no, stabbed in the back there.
In this
Oh
one
my
does. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, but not.
Pepega.
Oh my god.
Whatever. Okay.
If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken.
Ah! What's the meaning of this?
Can't even finish a sentence.
Perhaps the knife was broken before. What? No, Edgeworth. That's not how that works.
Use your head, Edgeworth. Come on, get your head in the game, man. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, then it couldn't possibly wind up there.
That's right. But what does this mean?
He's not even allowed to finish his sentence. The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness memory is mistaken.
That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed that one at the time. But she was sure she did.
There's no other way to explain the inconsistency.
funny you should say that. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. One that's way more convoluted and unplausible.
Actually, it is possible.
As said, implausible. About a little something called falsified evidence.
You're treading on thin ice, right? Tell me the answer.
All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. Sorry, let me say that again. Might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility.
No.
He's like literally like, ah!
Order, order, order.
The way I said it is like, no.
Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted?
Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. Man, like several times a year, Wright just like reveals that what's it called? Edgeworth is like living in the fucking Matrix, and every time he's like blindsided by it.
True.
The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day.
Phoenix is like, he is like completely new, and then Mr. Smith comes in, like, good day.
After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. Zebra-looking ass haircut. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room.
Man, his key aura is huge.
Yeah. You're right. He's a stand user. He absolutely does look like a stand user, actually.
Or like using Ultra Instinct.
Yeah.
Or not Ultra Instinct, but you know, he's going like Saiyan 0.5.
Yeah, he's like JoJo completely.
Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story, there is a lie.
I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. That's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife.
Where are the chances of there being two broken knives?
Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? There is. If the witness in this is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained away by simple observational error.
You know where else we found a blunted knife?
I wonder where.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Mr.
spoil
Wright.
it for the viewers out there.
In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife.
I wonder who
I
it
assume
is.
then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us.
The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. I have it just in a picture right here. The answer lies in the past, 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. This is a picture of the award ceremony. Oh no, sorry, it's Edgeworth.
This is a picture of the award ceremony. Ah.
What is it,
So
Mr. Edgeworth?
Lackluster.
I can't wait to actually edit this video. Ah. It's the broken murder weapon.
Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding.
I thought for sure it was gonna be the knife of the suit of armor.
That's a spear. It's not a knife.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well-
right, it is a blade, I think. I'm not sure if it's like a conical thing.
It is a blade, but it wasn't broken though.
I thought it was gonna be that he stabbed stabbed Neil with that knife, and then took the broken knife bit and shoved it into the guy.
That's
Yeah, I thought he was going to be like, stab Neil,
possible.
took the knife, broke it, like just use the pliers and break the end part and then put the thing in, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
is
but this
possible.
way he's gonna have to stab him with the broken knife and then shove the other broken piece into him, and then the rest of the broken knife into him, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But they could have replaced the spear a long time ago.
Yes, but would a megalomaniac psychopath who keeps the freaking blood on the floor even do that?
Well, I mean, they replaced the trophy.
Yeah. Did they? I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
He did.
Yeah.
He replaced it. That's why there's no knife on it anymore. They replaced it with one that doesn't no longer
Yeah.
has a knife.
But hold
Yeah.
on. He said like he found.
See,
Doesn't he
2
keep
years ago,
some?
the halberd was removed against behest.
Yeah. But what did we find in his office? You found the blood stains on the floor or something, and
Yeah.
also
there was old blood stains on the floor through aluminum, but there wasn't. We didn't find any blood stains on the spear.
right.
So there's likely chances that they replaced the spears, but he didn't clean up the blood on the floor.
Well, it
He
just
didn't
kinda
use the
soaked in.
spear. He didn't use the spear. There
Yeah.
would be no blood on the spear because
Was there?
it wasn't
I
used.
forget. Was there still like a chalk outline on the floor, or no?
No,
No,
there
there's
was
no.
not.
No.
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 Right. Okay. I thought for some reason that he
His
kept
room
that.
looks like one of those like paintings with all like the outline kind of people.
He must be a sociopath if he kept the outline. So I like to remind myself of that day, the day I became a chief.
Yeah, I refresh it every week.
Oh
It's
my
still
God.
chalky. He didn't like have it changed to paint.
I like to because it's indoors. I don't need to like remark it every single day.
I lacquered it, and then I waxed it, so now it'll never go away.
What a cursed location. Like, you know, like if you step into it, like you feel like a cold shift because like a ghost is still there or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. That would be so terrible.
As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award.
In all likelihood. I don't agree with that
We
one.
say with our like wild conjecture.
Order.
It's all alleged, right? Because like we can't confirm any of this due to the fact that we were never part of this.
Yeah. Neil Marshall was awarded the King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation.
It's pretty awesome that it's removable.
I think he broke it off. I don't think it's removable in that sense. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Actually, I'm kind of curious. Got me curious.
Just-
Oh, it is removable. Oh my
Oh,
God,
yeah.
it really
Oh,
is
there's a
removable.
fist.
Imagine the shield is removable also, and then you could like totally go sword and board, like just randomly if you get
Oh,
assaulted in your office.
Sadly, that's not possible.
Hell yeah. I go sword and board build, yeah.
With like a giant K on the front for like shield bashing.
Sadly, that's not possible, but the sword is removable. That I did
Yeah.
not expect.
Oh my god.
Nah,
Okay.
I get that.
Wait, how is that removable? Isn't
You
the
just shove it in there, I guess, and
It
it
slides
clicks.
in and just sticks.
okay, so it must be using friction.
Maybe. Yeah.
Friction or just like it just kind of slides in, and because it's just between those two things, it just
Yeah,
gets
but
stuck
the
in
handle
anything.
is at the bottom, not from the top.
Yeah, that's true. It just gets
Maybe-
stuck. It just gets stuck in between the two pieces of metal.
Maybe there's some clicking mechanism. I don't know.
Oh,
It
maybe.
just gets stuck. It just pushes in.
Yeah,
It's just
so
a
friction.
spring.
Don't worry about it.
It's just a
It's
simple
just a spring. There's no spring.
Well, I mean, it's all flexible slightly, so.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
Oh, you made
and
that.
why not, Mr. Edgeworth?
Because if the king of prosecutors award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. And yeah, your point was.
Do you mean?
I mean, this man raising a knife would have been prosecutor Neil Marshall.
Oh. Oh! Why couldn't, the other guy have, like, raised the knife?
But the prosecutor was the one who actually died.
Well, I mean, he could have used it as a blunt weapon because it is blunted. There.
Slap the guy with it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. What's going on here?
It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to the conclusions.
Hold it.
This guy.
Oh no, it's Emma.
Wait, I remember now. I remember everything.
Witness.
Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again?
His list, the one with that picture scribbled on the back.
Okay, I'm actually kind of curious now.
Wait, what's
There's a
on
hole in the bottom.
What's on the bottom?
There's a hole.
Oh
See?
wait, it just go through. Yeah, never mind.
What an odd vase.
Yeah, it's.
Does this remind you of anything?
the
Yeah.
Blue Badger? Oh my god!
The blue badger. A little bit, but the blue badger has 3 thingies.
Yeah, that's 3 thingies.
Yeah, that's 3 thingies, but they're not up.
Tilted around in a different kind of way. Okay, yeah,
I was
no,
trying to
to the
do
left.
that.
Tilted
Go,
more,
go
to
from
right,
the other.
no, right,
Go from the
rotate
other
right,
side of the
Rotate
plot.
right 180. Rotate right 180. Yeah, keep on going there. Now to there we go. There it is. That's it. No, left. There. That's it.
That's
it.
more blue badgery.
That's it. That's absolutely it. We got it.
I don't know. I mean,
Go look at the picture again. Go look at the
this
picture.
is entering like a cult schizophrenic conspiracy if that's the case. Okay.
Okay, what do you think this game is? It's 100% what it is, man.
What? So the chief of detectives has had a nightmare about the pot and then summoned the blue badger into existence.
Possibly.
I don't know. I think that's just a funny coincidence. But basically, the pot is for some reason that thing.
What's the other things in the picture? The 2 dark circles.
The 2 triangles there at the top right and left. Sorry, the
Yeah.
and
That's so that entire part, the circular part, is the window.
The arched window of Gant's office?
Yeah.
Okay.
why would this thing be located there in reference to the arched window?
It's because if you flip it right side up, right? Because like
But then that would mean the pot was like sideways, right?
yeah, it was falling onto the person.
It was falling. Okay.
Yeah, from the cabinets. Remember the cabinets next to the windows?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the pot was on top of the cabinet.
Oh my
All
god. Jesus.
Sure,
Well,
must be-
That's what it would be.
Go back to the pot. I don't believe it.
You don't believe
Okay.
it?
I I'm downing it. I'm calling shenanigans.
Okay.
I still don't believe it. So it has one facing up and then two facing down on either side.
So this would probably be the closest way to it.
All right.
And then when we were looking at it,
Why don't you flip it around the other way?
yeah, I was trying to do like this, so this kind of thing.
Yeah, that seems likely.
All right. Oh my god.
Because it was falling down, right? And the pot was broken.
Wait, so the chief of detectives would have seen this and then been inspired to make the Blue Badger.
Yeah.
So the Blue Badger is related to the fucking case in a deepest lore. Piece away, bullshit.
The chief of detectives wasn't there though.
But he
would have
saw
been
the paper later, right?
Yeah, he would have been.
Oh, yeah.
Because he wasn't chief of detectives at the
I
time.
thought you were saying like he saw the vase.
Yeah.
But yeah, he saw the paper.
Yeah, he would have had at least seen the paper because he wasn't the chief of detectives at the time.
So he got inspired by this in order to make the Blue Badger.
Yeah.
Inspiration strikes.
Or he must have seen it recently in the at least last year in the game at the chief's office because
yeah,
he still had the paper.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Someone with that picture scribbled on the back.
I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that?
You drew that?
That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. The only problem I have, I don't know what's with the only problem I have with the pot though is the curves on the both left and right. Because it's not that curvy.
Yeah, that's true. But that that's just like artist license. Even though the knife is meant to be super objective.
All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me.
Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you've recalled, Miss Sky?
Yes, Your Honor.
First the knife mix-up, and now the Blue Badger. And now the Blue Badger? This should be interesting.
When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed over toward both of them. Wow. I think I knocked away the man. Oh, did the pot hit her head?
I don't know.
We're getting another hit the head, mistaken, like lost from everything.
Because Emma pushed the quote-unquote person who held the knife, and then she got hit by the pot.
I don't know.
The vase, I mean, not the pot. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Yes, he knocked away, right? So, just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the Blue Badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
Oh god, this is Batman.
Yeah.
This is certainly most unusual. Almost demonic.
Probably impossible. Chief of Detective hadn't even designed him until this year.
That would mean he hadn't even existed 2 years ago, or he didn't even exist 2 years ago.
Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Stop, please. Don't pursue this any further.
Damn.
Lana!
What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair.
But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief
Too bad.
Prosecutor Sky. Yeah.
I can and I will.
We've already come this far. Too late to turn back.
Silence. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant.
Seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. I saw his shadow. A blue batter. His shadow? Did you see the Lord? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all?
That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy. This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed to you. The witness must be mistaken.
That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did.
Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation? If so, then by all means, please tell us what the shadow really was.
What was it Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who is this blue badger really? I just might know. The blue badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture. Yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on the fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room, but in my pocket. So nobody here can see it, except for me.
Now's the time in the horror movie when the spooky shit starts happening.
I bet you like the lights are actually gonna go out and then like fucking something happens. Damon Gann's trying to murder everyone in the fucking room.
Damon Gann is possessed by the blue badger demon.
No, as in like he tries to murder everyone like exact same way he did back then.
Yeah.
Oh,
By doing like lights out and then the old lights out kill everyone in the room. Works every time.
this piece of cloth is actually Neil's cloth
Neil's
vest.
his vest?
Oh, it's part of his vest, is it?
Probably
Oh,
the
yeah,
back of the
same.
vest.
Yeah.
That's why it
Okay.
has Emma's print on it.
Yeah. What is it? Does it say cloth or does it say leather?
It's a cloth, but cloth can mean literally anything. So
Yeah.
it's likely a leather cloth.
I wouldn't consider leather a cloth, but yeah, I get what you mean.
It can be used.
It's
It could
also
be,
trying
But that could be a cloth vest.
Yeah.
but leather can be
okay.
a form of cloth. Is what I'm saying. Because because you
yeah.
still wear it.
Oh, a piece of cloth
Nah.
thing.
Cloths have to be
I
made out
guess.
of strands. That's that's Ethan's Plato's cloth.
It's still a
Calling it.
cloth.
Now,
It's
Cloth is something
clothing,
you
not
wear.
cloth.
according
No,
according to
clothing.
Plato's cloth, just like Plato's chair, the ideal cloth is a flat structure made out of strands. And I'm calling like God is my witness here. That's I'm saying that. That's
Yeah,
my
but
opinion.
is this the ideal cloth, Ethan?
Yes.
Or is it the human cloth?
Is
Which
it
is not
ideal
ideal.
cloth?
Oh, okay.
That's why I said Plato's cloth.
Yeah, but that's Plato's cloth, which is the ideal that doesn't actually exist.
Yes, Plato's
true.
cloth. Wait, so you're saying that leather, while not an ideal cloth, is still a cloth because it exists?
Yeah.
No, because you said the ideal. That means the perfect one. However, no chair on Earth is the perfect Plato's chair. They're all like some of them have 3 legs, some of them have 2 legs, some of them have weird just 1 leg, sort of thing like
Some of them
that,
has
right?
6 legs.
Meanwhile, the ideal chair, how many legs does that have, Ethan? Are
4.
those other ones not chairs just because they don't have the ideal number of legs?
7.
7.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah, they're chairs, I guess.
oh, you guess? Are they really though? I
No,
mean,
they're either
they're not
stools or
ideal, so they get
tridents
okay.
or barrels or rests, footrests, or
Bum rests.
they're conveniently shaped objects.
Well, okay, fine. What they mean is that it's a leather fabric. Okay.
Okay.
Happy. It's
Yeah,
a fabric.
Well,
Agree to disagree.
It's a fabric.
it's a leather.
You can
leather
agree it's a fabric, right? Leather is a
Might be a
fabric.
textile.
fabric.
Wow.
No, I'm not sure if fabric means like could be leather as well.
Furious Google.
Yes, no. Fabric is leather can be a fabric.
Oh yeah, you're right. Nope. Fabric is the way. Wait a minute. Cloth or other material produced by weaving or knitting fibers. You could weave leather into a fabric, but leather itself is a sheet.
Yeah, it's a sheet of material. I guess, yeah, you can cut leather into a bunch of small strands and then weave that into a cloth, but no, leather is not a cloth.
All right, now that's enough semantics out of you, Ethan. Let's just continue.
Semantics are what
You know what's really
drive
you know what's really funny? Cloth and
What?
fabric actually mean the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah? No, I did not know.
kind of. Yeah, they do.
Basically, I would assume.
It's woven or felted fabric. And then if you look up the definition of fabric, cloth or other material produced by weaving. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
so it doesn't.
So I was
leather
right.
Doesn't count. So leather doesn't count, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
All right. Anyways, that's enough.
Mr. Wright.
Continue.
Whew.
Ethan
Man,
was
I
being
almost
Mr.
had to give
Right.
up
He
my
always
always
has
right
to,
card.
Anyways,
In this room, very well, Mr. Wright.
Had to give up my always right card. I'm pretty sure you had to give that up a while ago.
Nah, I would know.
Ooh, it's a real trap right there. All right, continue.
In this room, very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this mysterious blue badger look-alike.
This thing. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this.
But that's... what exactly is that?
A vase.
I believe it's some sort of jar.
It's a vase, not a jar. Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like a blue badger.
When is a vase not a vase?
Indeed, it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar.
When is a vase a jar?
Yeah.
However, what? Well, it's got an open top and bottom. I don't think it's really a jar.
Yeah, so that means it's a vase.
Does the definition of jar have one opening? What if it had two lids?
I believe.
Huh?
You know that's a good question. What is the definition of a vase?
What if it had two lids?
Do you see 2 lids?
I don't see.
Well,
two
they're
lids at
not
all.
included with the set.
Okay, then it doesn't. Then it functionally doesn't have a lid until a lid is included with it. So
Okay.
it is a vase until it becomes a jar.
Okay, and also the definition of a jar requires a lid, actually.
Okay.
A wine-mouthed cylindrical container made of glass or pottery and typically having a lid. Oh, but not necessarily. Used especially for storing food.
You can store food in that.
You know what? Theoretically. Could be.
It is. It's not. It's not. It's not a perfect cylinder. No.
It's close enough. Technically, yes. All right, okay, continue.
It's
However,
a revolute
what if we were
shape.
to change our viewpoint?
Our viewpoint.
I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this.
Oh, the other way. Point the thing towards us.
Yeah, he needs to just turn this way first before he rotates it. I rotate it?
No, keep on rotating through.
There we go. Now rotate around.
Yeah,
Around.
that's better.
I guess so. Hey, that kind of does it. This isn't right. I've got to make it look more like the badger.
Allow me to remind the defense its case hinges on the witness's drawing. If the Mr. Wright can't match the shape of the what the fuck? Okay, let's do
I've
this.
got to find just the right angle. Maybe I should rotate it.
Okay, let's do
Angle.
this.
This more.
Oh, maybe it was the other way. Yeah, you're right. With the thing pointed away rather than towards.
I thought it was like
Like that? Maybe.
No,
yeah.
that's not it.
It could be. Because
I
it's
thought it was
pointed
the other
down,
way.
right? The
Like,
horns are
don't you
pointed
need
down.
Don't you need the two handles to be kind of pointed upward?
well, let's just give down. Okay, let's
Well,
go on.
Don't act like we haven't pulled this shit out of our ass 2 or 3 times already.
It's like
Yeah.
yes.
I thought we already tried that.
Yeah.
Lean it down a bit more. No, lean down more.
No, I got it right.
Oh, it is.
It's just finicky. Well, is this a miracle or what? Phoenix.
It's pretty
Yeah.
close, yeah.
No one can possibly deny the star's resemblance to the blue badger.
Oh, I guess that's why it was curved. Okay, fine. Oh, we
Because
can't
mine
be.
was just blown.
I'm still
Yeah.
Order!
that's the thing.
Order!
Edgeworth, that's whatever I
Are you
made.
saying the Blue Badger is a murderer?
No, I'm saying he's a hero.
The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this.
Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatical performance, one question remains. What's your point?
What do you mean?
So that badger thing was actually just a jar. Base. That doesn't change anything.
We determined the jar count.
No, it doesn't. We never determined
Well, you're
that.
wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. Actually, you know what? No. You see, this changes everything.
Indeed, very well then. Please tell us. What's the difference now that we know the witness saw this vase?
What?
The murderer?
How does that change the murderer?
Because somebody else must have come into the room to do the murdering? With
Yeah,
the
but
jar
Neil
fell?
was still there and he still had a knife. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle. Oh no, it's Edward.
At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright.
Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Oh, in his office.
Where?
The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gans.
I thought they already said it was in this office. Or whatever.
Well, they said it unofficially on the courtroom.
Okay.
But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. So what they're saying is that vase is Lana Sky's vase.
I think they're saying is on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Witness-
because the blood was Damon Gant before Damon Gant said. So maybe Lana sat there before. No. Yeah.
No, it was at Lana's side.
Alright.
The pool of blood that we saw was on Lana's side. Unless they swapped the desk around.
I don't know which side was which.
It was left. Left is the Lana's side.
Okay. Yes, and it's these facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office.
It's still the same room. Whatever.
But they did split the difference.
But there is only a window on one side, I think.
Yeah. Maybe.
Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body?
No, there's a
Oh, no,
window
no,
on
there's
both
two.
sides.
Yeah, never
there's
mind.
still on both sides.
You're right, you're right.
Yeah?
Yes.
Why would he do that? There's no reason.
Exactly.
I like to reminiscence of the day I became chief.
If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. And Edgeworth is just like,
Do you
that's
know
fucking
what that
backwards,
reason-
Mr. Wright.
Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright?
Gee, thanks, Mr. Wright. It seems like that was the most logical thing to say.
Finally figured out, so this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though.
Was Lana murdered Dark?
It's
Damon murdered
wait, sorry.
Dark.
Dark is not dead.
Sorry,
Well, he
Damon
is
murdered
dead, but he
Neo.
got the-
Damon murdered Neo
Yeah.
and then moved it to Lana's desk.
No, what happened was Emma pushed Neil by accident, thinking that it was Joe, and Neil got stabbed by the statue, whereas the Joe got hit by the pot.
Oh.
Ball,
So
vase.
Gant?
So the
Okay.
statue is the thing that stabbed him, you think?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You know
that's
what? That could be it. And it keeps with the theme of like children maybe kind of murdering.
Yeah, they're trying to prevent prosecuting children, but then apparently the children has been doing all the murdering.
Well, not really, but yeah.
What was
Yeah.
the other child murderer?
Edgeworth, but he
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
really do it.
Okay.
Yeah, and technically Maya, but she was framed as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, Emma's the only child murderer.
Bam. Nice. Please recall the witness testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying?
That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. Oh, there's the night thing. You're right. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit?
Ah,
The suit of armor holding a very sharp and dangerous looking
Oh my
sword.
god, you're right, it really was the spear. What the fuck? Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Wielding. I like that.
Edge
No,
was like, is
Mr. Wright.
completely fucking.
I know, right? You can't be thinking.
Yes, there's another possibility of what actually transpired in that room.
Another possibility.
Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless. I don't know if I...
Mr. Wright, what's the matter?
The events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming that man MS Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Wow, that was
Damn, that's like Dead
He
by
just got hung
Daylight
up.
murderer over here.
yeah, that was very anticlimactic.
Damn, this is gun deer. It's also here.
It's a critical hit.
You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? Yeah, the only child murderer.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
GG. He fainted. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this.
So it was the witness who took the victim's life. And then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented.
Wow. What are you saying?
I'm sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances,
Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her?
she's cracking, she's smoking now, she's sweating now.
Imagine that coming from you. Recall it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body is to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe in your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have to prove it. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall?
Evidence? Sorry, that's not my strong suit.
True. I'm willing to bet you don't.
Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence.
You don't have evidence? Then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work. In this case, parties involved in the incident are dead. Wow.
Certainly can't get dead people to testify.
Well, technically we can. She's
This
not
has
here.
all been a wild goose chase from the beginning.
Touché, Miss Sky. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility.
You mean there's still another possibility?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life.
This shit again.
Yeah, I wonder where that would be. One manner or another. That's impossible.
The game's giving us a big hint here.
Yeah.
Well,
whatever that
Mr.
is.
Wright, this is the only possibility left for you. 2. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist?
You'll have to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind
is in the evidence.
Yeah, remember we saw it written on the vase. This
What, is that a
message from
jar?
the deceased is already in our possession. Yeah, it's the one on the jar.
Mr. Wright.
Oh, I thought it was
weird
gonna
that
be
he
the
like
handprint.
would do that, right? That seems so like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, right?
Like,
And
it's
yeah,
one
it
thing-
would be the handprint too.
It's one thing. It's one thing for what's it called? It's one thing for like at the beginning of the game with Mia and Maya to be writing the name, but then
Yep.
it's like another thing for like this guy to be writing this person he kind of barely knows,
It's like in a. Yeah.
and also because like he I don't know, whatever. Like it wasn't on purpose. Right?
And it's clear to say that Gigant is blackmailing Sky.
Yeah, we're moving the other thing first.
Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased.
It's the jar.
I guess, like you said.
Yeah, it would be the vase.
This
Jar.
is the message left by the deceased.
This is that blue badger from before, right?
Oh, is he
Damn.
going to just
Bitch.
speak the killer's name?
When
Wow.
did you get a sense of humor, Lana?
If that thing could, sure it would.
Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar.
Oh, it's a vase.
The message was left here on the surface of this jar.
Vase.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar.
It looks like someone wiped the blood away.
No, can't cut your tongue. Lana? Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped. We are
Yes,
just
there's
like
a line here drawn in blood.
activating the blackmail that Damon Gant has on Lana as like just stumbling into it without even knowing.
Yep. So what you're saying is the dots were once light. What? Like, yes.
Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message.
When the someone apparently wiped away. The blood must have seeped into the jar, where the lines changed direction.
Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points. Man, we are just bumbling into this. We are not realizing the implications of what we're doing right now.
We do. I think we do, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
but
do.
I mean, like, we're also going to have to like go through a whole other ass thing to like prove Damon
Yeah.
Gant's part of this.
Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us?
This is going on way longer than I expected. Yeah.
Yeah,
Your Honor,
I'm
I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer.
Too bad I don't know how to write in Japanese.
it's in English.
It's not Japanese. It's
What?
English. I've got to connect these dots to make letters. We looked at it before. His murderer's name. Alright. Now, do that. Oh, you have to do it using controls.
Tank. Imagine it's tank controls.
Oh, God. You didn't.
Wait.
Yes. I feel like I'm teaching handwriting to a student who is all
Sorry, hold
thumb.
on.
They just listen to their intelligence.
Mr. Wright,
Alright. There's only one thing. His murderer's name.
you gotta use the touchpad.
Oh, I do actually.
Oh my goodness.
Ethan's seeing it. Ethan's seeing it. Do
Yeah.
you feel it now, Edgeworth? You live in the matrix.
Sorry, I
Nothing
didn't
is real.
realize I had to
What's that one? Menku split the lines, cut the flesh.
Menku, yeah.
Yeah, cut the flesh, Menku. Come on.
Here we go.
It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. But I didn't realize this thing that I'm doing right now. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this.
So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Yeah, it really did spoke to us.
Of all people. She may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life.
Emma Sky.
Emma Sky. No, it was.
She's like still passed out.
Probably it. They were they? Can't say I didn't warn you.
Shut up, this isn't over. Damn!
It's supposed to be.
Oh, I'm playing my theme song.
Chief? Got it.
Do you understand the implications of what you've done?
What are you talking about?
2 years ago, Joe Dock was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
To be honest, I don't know why Edgeworth getting on.
But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. Is it? I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know we aren't defenders of justice? We are merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence of forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied.
I mean, technically, it's not really the prosecutor's fault. It's actually the police's, mostly the police's fault.
Man to death. How can they just stand there like it wasn't his fault? It was
Order!
How is he supposed to know all this? Okay, but the thing is, he wasn't given the evidence. The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. Okay, there's going to be a whole second thing.
Do you want to try and blast through it?
Yeah, let's just blast through it. Let's not do the voice acting on this part because
can we blast through it even? It's gonna be like being in Gant and a whole like round of shit again.
Yeah, we could blast through it. Let's just blast through it.
Hey, why don't we just do quick voice acting?
Guess I am. I'll come back later.
Actually,
guess I am. I'll come back later.
Alright, so just read it class.
You just want to do Gumshoe, don't you?
Well, you know,
this is... I want to know what happens.
There's no point in speed running Phoenix Wright on Twitch, right?
That's true.
You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all over the city while on duty. And to top it all, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
If you go so fast that you can't even read it, then like you missed the story even, and then what else is there to Phoenix Wright, right?
I can read it.
I couldn't at the time.
Fair enough. I'll go slower.
I think Atlanta's having you run errands again.
Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Yeah, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial.
Evidence law? I was talking about this just the other day. There's no 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number one never should be shown for a little ago.
We don't need to. We don't need to do
Just
flashbacks.
flashback. Rule no.
Blah, 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 blah.
The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message.
Message.
She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book.
Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Looks like you can edit the text curls.
Doesn't look like
something
that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence.
That's very wrong, detective.
Huh?
We are not gonna blast through this book.
Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me?
Mr. Edgeworth.
The real trial today hasn't begun yet.
What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's being all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal.
You're missing the point, detective. You armed a murder detective couldn't. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there.
What?
And we're going to expose him. This is going to be long, guys. I just gotta let you know. No matter what it takes. But we can try going fast. The case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end.
Yeah, let me save this first before we actually do this part, because I don't even know.
Okay.
Yep, just go as fast as you can.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your action.
I suck at reading fast. I mean, in terms of reading out loud. Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Yes, well, ahem. Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, ahem. This isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have,
Struck a bargain? You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edward has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright? Do you realize this is your last chance? If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over.
The defense calls. Time's finally come to bring up the real murder.
Meekins, the real murder. No, okay.
Yes, Meekins.
Damon Gant, age 65. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything?
He has everything to do. As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
What a
True.
vicious thing to say.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, bailiff. Please escort Mr. Gant to the stand.
I've got to play my organs again.
Ugh. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Too bad.
A mistake.
Your name and occupation, sir.
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation.
You want to play hardball, eh?
Please, Mr. Gant.
Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto, what's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL-9 incident. Oh, you mean the time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor that I just heard about? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You're aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Literally. Weapons? Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to.
That's not true. You actually.
What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
What the?
What?
What?
Is it the chief of police specifically, or just anybody?
Chief of police specifically.
Is he saying that, like, referring to the chief of police by his title, or is he saying
no, the chief of police person, the actor of chief of police doesn't have to
so the title, the person who has the title.
Oh my goodness.
Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Very well. The witness may now begin his testimony.
That was a big shocker.
And then just nothing, just dot.
Dot, dot, dot.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime with me. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
It's very succinct. Is that when Dark was arrested?
He was lying on the floor, unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head.
I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut.
If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast.
Sorry, what?
I just like think like his eyes are just gonna open and then he's like staring at you the whole time. I think the arranged the crime scene is like, okay, for one, and it had nothing to do with the forgery. It was in your face, dickhead. You claim it had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim we cannot back up.
Oh, right, because the pot was in his safe.
It's in the safe.
And the evidence list.
Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
That's the blue badger you showed us earlier.
Yes, a piece of jar was discovered in your safe that we raided. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk.
It was found where?
That I also raided earlier. You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in this illegal investigation.
Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this?
Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me, or do you mean you? Me? What would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto?
However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Poor Gumshoe.
Yeah.
Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Let's see, what was it now? A jaw fragment and a list. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Doc was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in the forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Mr. Wright?
I am yawning. Yes, Your Honor?
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequence. Indeed, I believe I will press charges so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
All right, UG. In return, though.
I know. That place, right?
Huh? What are these guys telepathic?
The bathhouse.
Wow.
Where a bunch of old men get together and show off ugly bodies in the fucking sauna.
Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police.
Oh.
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh, that's a good one. Do you really think I'm that incompetent? Yes. Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of the SL9 was a true experiment.
Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway.
Be careful when you're pointing that finger. One might wind up being the one pointing at.
That means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit the forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else.
Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There. It's out in the open now. Yuji, would you mind if I change my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again.
You're right, you don't feel sorry for anyone.
Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised.
Admitting he's a psychopath.
You seem to be lax on it, not lax enough on yourself, though.
That's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him?
Yeah, controlling the prosecutor's office.
Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to
That's not what I mean.
lend help to people. Very well then. Who is the person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky, the defendant?
I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if he asked him to. But she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all of this?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets?
Your Honor.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh wait, you must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
We don't even wait for the finish. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as chief prosecutor so you can control her. Right, oh my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. Do you have any proof of this? That I control Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done as much? Lana, she's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture.
Plus,
Fuck.
that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would that be?
Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Cooper. Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Eddie, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Just what do you mean?
Wow, that was a kind of threatening statement, little old buddy, old Damon pal, friendo. What he means, Your Honor,
What
is
did
that
he mean
Chief
by
Gant
this?
is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
Whoa, what?
Man, he is really not up to speed.
Clearly.
Order, I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That's impossible.
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language.
fucking pin it on Edward.
Back pedal. Oh my god.
It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now.
It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. We're in this together.
This, Mr. Wright?
Rogue attorney.
It's true.
Ace Attorney, Rogue State.
Yeah.
That's the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder.
Damn, this is a roguelite, if I know one.
Good question.
Regardless of his rank title, Chief Gant is just a man. Question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. All right then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us this evidence that that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. This is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that showed who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777-7777. Sorry, there's no way you can prove that's my car number, and I'm not going to show you. It's your number.
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7 digits. You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777-7777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list.
That's good enough evidence for me.
Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. He's just like, damn it, if only I wasn't a boomer who used the same password.
Order. Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Even I know anybody above the age of 40 can't have any password that is not on their social security or their birthday or some shit.
What are you saying?
He's rambling about social security numbers and stuff like that.
He's like, oh, you should have used your birthday.
Rather than your social security number. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. Right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime?
What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's evidence room or the bathroom. What is the difference? I can go anywhere I want.
Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone?
I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt.
No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth.
Nice.
If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, and we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us the proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime.
Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime.
Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it.
So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
He needed to?
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
Oh.
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Yes, exactly.
But wait. The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Oh, that was...
Sorry, but that's not possible.
Mhm.
According to the record, your card was used once. Yeah, you showed us your ID card earlier. You had really lent it to the Detective Goodman. It would have been found on his body. Wow, that's shocking.
What
Jesus.
the fuck was that?
It's gonna be an anime death over fear. What the fuck? Chief
I know,
Gant, you didn't.
The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime from no one in their right mind who chose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lena at the prosecutor's office wanted to dispose of the Detective Goodman's body.
You're forgetting, Mr. Wright. The victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there?
I was at the police department the entire day, you know.
Everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have the entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was just a useless code taking up space.
How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. How did he get it into the fucking car from the evidence room? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, that's a good
To move the
question.
victim's body, Chief Gant used this. Don't tell me it was a blue badger.
Did you going along? It's the car, right? Yeah, he used that and
Well, there's
the
two of
car.
them. There's this one.
He used the screwdriver to call
This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
the other guy over in order to get the screwdriver. What?
Yeah.
What's that? A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case?
Sir Edward, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here?
It's here because
Jeez.
I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. Told me he wanted me to keep it here in the office's prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did.
You did, because Chief Gant asked you to.
You mean, I...
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car.
Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Edgeworth's car?
Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from closed case? There's only one plausible explanation: to transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Sky.
Order. What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to these defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photo. Yeah, we're like prosecutor right now. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite.
It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
Chief Gant, please say something.
I believe your time's up.
My time's up?
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? The police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that
What?
right now.
That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
So you're going to just run away after all this?
Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Eamon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate something.
Sorry,
Well, Mr. Wright?
I double-clicked by accident.
Will
Your
not
Honor?
tolerate accusations against him for no reason or something.
Yeah.
Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body?
Do I have any concrete proof? Can we go to court record?
No, we actually don't have.
It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Uji?
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
What? Here's a tip. Never gamble with what you can't afford to lose, right? It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Uchi, I'll leave the rest to you. Sure.
Just teleports out. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency.
What?
Lady Luck? Maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
A lady who knows the truth, the witness.
In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony.
But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. Edgeworth
There
is
is
just like,
still
I'm talking about a lady, dumbass.
I know, right? There's still someone else, one more witness, who can answer all these questions. Raising this trial, someone right in this very room.
Trying to like really lead you to the.
I know,
because you're the one who has to pick the witnesses, right? Mr.
Yeah.
Edgeworth, who is this person?
What are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? Defense is the one calling the witnesses today.
Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
The judge is like, you know, like when you're watching a show and you're like, oh my god, I have to know more. Like, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, oh my god, who's the murderer? Tell me. She may not be willing to tell the truth. But we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth
Lana?
Meekin.
Beacon.
The defendant, Miss Lana Sky?
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body in accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony.
Huh?
Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat.
Listen good, Lana. She's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claim, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Ah, this is good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet. I just thought I'd pop that in.
Okay. If there aren't any further objections,
The judge is like, hey, I'm okay with this blackmail. No, it's totally fine.
this court is now in recess.
I'm actually going to end it here.
But no, I don't know.
God.
Are we gonna have to go through like an entire whole other round? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm going to end this here. We can do this next week.
Yeah, thanks for your help, Edgeworth. Yeah.
That chief, he's something else, eh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe.
Haha. I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office.
My office?
Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with.
What do you mean? Maya?
Yeah, I'll be a psychic. Still, looks like we're all out of moves now.
He'll be a private investigator, yeah.
Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand?
It's not fair. He has the right to refuse to testify.
So downright. Remember what the judge said?
But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
Risks.
What did he mean by that?
Simple. Chief refuses to testify. The opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his rights to say anything else? Yeah. Emma.
Emma, are you okay?
Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the gallery. Yeah, whatever.
Well, she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, sorry for what I said before.
No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. What the fuck? And she did it just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her.
What do you mean?
What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside, forced herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do.
That must be why she became so cold.
It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Society.
Society.
Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into the armor.
I see.
Well, we'd better get back. It's time for the final act.
Emma, why don't you wait here?
No, I'm going with you. I don't want to be there. But Lena tells the truth. Let's go, right? Time to end this.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god, it really is like a whole other thing.
It really is a whole nother chapter. Ugh.
It's probably going to take us another hour. I'm actually going to end this. I need to use the washroom too. Oh, okay. I'm actually ending this. Bye.
I kind of want to do Back for Blood next week, though. So maybe, what if we just do like something on the weekend and then put the schedule B for B next week or something?
Sure, we can do that.
I have to talk to Seth about it too.